Alrighty, good Saturday evening, Arkansas. This is Chief Forecaster Cameron
and Chase, Director Derek, and we're back once again as we talk winter weather once again across the natural state. We're going to give it a few minutes, let a few more come in
let a few
here.
more people come on in and make sure that we get everybody in at this current time. So for those that are in right now, we have that winter storm warning that is in place across the area. Folks that are still out and about, there's a lot of people that are still at the grocery stores and trying to get everything ready at this current time. The thing I want to stress right now is all preparations need to come to an end by 2, actually we'll go 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon across the state. As you mentioned before, we have that winter storm warning for almost the entire state of Arkansas, except for our folks up there in Benton County. I do believe they will end up going to a winter storm warning. So we'll end up getting them involved in the winter storm warning by the time we get towards first thing tomorrow morning here. So for those that have questions and stuff like that, timing, I want to stress this. I've been stressing this over the last couple of days. Patience. If you want your questions answered, you want your question on the live stream, patience and being polite and being nice to not only us here, but the entire team and everyone else, it's going to get you very, very far, guys. So just remain patient with us. We're going to get to your questions, I guarantee you. But we've got a ton of information to go over during this live stream here. So, mentioned before, I think we've got a good amount of people. We've got almost 2,000 people, and we've got people tuning in to YouTube as well. If you end up missing this, you can always come back and listen to this live stream tomorrow. We'll have that information for you at this current time here, okay? So, like I mentioned before, winter storm warning is in place until 6 p.m. on Monday. I fully anticipate, by the way, that this winter storm warning may end up getting extended to first part of Tuesday morning. This is going to go for snowfall totals as low as 2 inches of snow to as high as 6 inches of snow. It could be even higher. Could even be higher. We're going to talk about that coming up here in just a second here.
And before we go any further, we know the bar at the bottom of the screen. We know it says winter storm warning is expiring such time. Basically, this updates as the new warnings are put out.
Yeah.
So, yes, the actual warning starts at noon Sunday and goes till 6 p.m. on Monday.
Yep.
But this is based upon the National Weather Service as they issue them.
Yep.
And then they re-update them with each forecast cycle.
Yep.
So before anybody asks a question about that, it's there to show you where the winter storm warning is, not necessarily the time involved. The time involved is what's in the graphic here.
So basically what they do with that, extend it, by the time that expires, they have 3 options. They can either extend it, they can cancel it, or they can downgrade it to an advisory. So basically that's what that means. I hope that answers those questions here. So right out of the gate, we have a little over 2.3 thousand people here. Everybody should be able to see this. If you don't, like I mentioned before, just rewind the live stream so you don't miss this. So we're going to go ahead and start talking to you guys about the snowfall totals right out of the gate, since we've got a ton of people in here right now. And we're going to leave this here for a couple of minutes because we still got people coming in and all that. So we're going to leave this planet right here so a lot of folks can kind of see what's going on. So the biggest thing that I want to stress right now, there's been considerable changes, especially for northern Arkansas, central and east central Arkansas, and southern Arkansas here. So last night I took central. I'm going to let you get central. I'm going to take north, and I'll take south there. So I'll let you get started with central Arkansas.
Well, so the biggest area that we've been mentioning, this has really been kind of a consensus across the board over the last 3 or 4 days, as we've been tracking this, as we've been following this system, is the central third of the state. That basically what we're talking about, the area from Jonesboro down to about Monticello and across. Basically that central third of the state is where we're talking about the potential for a little bit higher accumulations. Now, a widespread 3 to 5 inches is expected in this area. Now, the exception is going to be in the pink area where you see the 4 to 6 plus. And this is where we expect heavier banding to set up. And this is also where your sleet area starts to thin out, and where your snow becomes predominant. And basically what's going to happen is, and the thinking is, and this is necessarily more with round 2 than round 1, and we'll get over that in just a little bit, as the main system comes through the southern jet stream along the Gulf Coast. You're going to have moisture going up and over that front that is currently moving through right now. We were at 48 and we're down to about 36 now. So temperatures are falling like a rock. Once we drop below freezing, we won't be back again to freezing till maybe potentially next Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too.
Yeah,
in a little bit. But the 4 to 6 inch range is plus right now. It's basically from Hot Springs to Arkadelphia to Pine Bluff, down over to Helena, up to West Memphis, just around Wynn, and then of course obviously back into the Little Rock metro area.
Yeah.
And this area is the area where we're going to see the highest moisture content, coupled with the best lift, coupled where your sleet
the lack
totals,
of the warm nose as well.
Yeah, and the lack of a warm nose in this area, and this is where our ratios are expected to be the highest, potentially 18 to 20 to 1 or more as your cold air deepens. Because right now we've been watching guidance all day. We may not get out of the teens tomorrow for highs in central Arkansas.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, your ratios skyrocket. This is based on temperatures being in the 20s. And then tomorrow night we drop down to 10, 11, 12,
now,
12.
I want to stress something too. I'm not sure, you may have already gone over this. I want everyone to pay attention to that text that's just under the Arkadelphia Pine Bluff area. Once we get a better handle, we're going to have 0Z guidance come in tonight, and then a 06Z guidance come in first thing tomorrow morning. We get the first whiff that this is end up going to be higher than 6 inches of snow. I would dare say, if some areas, if not the entire zone that you see kind of highlighted, may end up going to that 6 to 8 plus across the area here. So we've kept it 4 to 6 right now, especially on that southern end, because there is some uncertainty with the sleet totals, which are going to come up in a second. But I want to stress that right now here for those that are saying it's going to be 10-inch plus and stuff like that. We are monitoring it closely. We like to keep things low end and then gradually increase whenever we're dealing with snowfall. So I want to make that clear at this point.
And I want to debunk this real quick before you get started. Now, yes, dry air is a concern.
Yeah.
And we talked about that for North Arkansas. But dry air is not going to play a factor in the totals.
Yep.
Then the reason being is the 4 to 6 plus, 3 to 5, whatever, is there because our ratios are going to be higher. The colder the air, the higher the ratio, no matter the QPF. You can have 5/10 of an inch, barely any moisture in there, and it can still squeeze out a couple inches of snow.
Definitely.
Which is where we're talking about for North Arkansas.
Okay. Rich, thank you so much for letting me know. The 0Z is actually cooking up right now. And it's already out to, that is 05Z Sunday morning. So it's cooking up at this point. So let's talk about North Arkansas, and I'm going to talk to you guys about Southern Arkansas. Boy, we've got 3,000 people on this live stream right now. Y'all are awesome. Y'all can do what we did during the live stream on what was it? My mind is kind of cycling. Was it Friday when we had the severe weather? Or Thursday night. If y'all can do what we did Thursday night, and hit that share button, get this live stream out. That's going to be amazing because a lot of people are wanting to tune in to figure out the snowfall accumulations and everything like that here. So, North Arkansas, I'm talking to my folks in Fayetteville, Jasper, Harrison, Mountain View, over to the Walnut Ridge area. I've got you guys to 2 to 4 right now here, okay? The reason being is because you're going to see snow tomorrow. I'm going to talk to you guys coming up here in just a second. But we're going to watch you guys late tomorrow night and a Monday because of the fact that there could be some drier air issues up there as well. So that's something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on at this point. Also, for my folks that are trying to figure out information, the latest graphics and stuff like that, I would highly recommend, while we have everybody here right now, that you go and download our weather app. That is ArkansasWeatherWatchers.com. One of my guys, can you get the link to the app? That way you guys aren't missing any information or anything like that. Make sure you download that app. You have all the information you need, live storm coverage, winter weather notifications, Facebook notifications. Every time we go live, you can go look at that app here. So I want to make that clear while we have everybody in this live stream right now. So, Southern Arkansas, I've gone over north. Southern Arkansas, you guys are not going to have any dry air problems. The problem is you're going to have sleet mixed in with the snow, which could cut down into your snowfall accumulation totals here. So that's something that we're going to continue to monitor at this current time here. But I think Central Arkansas into East Central Arkansas is going to be the highlighted zone for the potential of seeing the heavier snowfall potentials at this current time here. And folks, like I mentioned before, patience. Don't leave the live stream just because we're not going over a specific topic right now. You got to realize this is going to be an hour plus long live stream. We're going to be going over information, answering questions. We're not going to do that right out of the gate. So the longer you stay in this live stream, the better you're going to turn out. I promise you, you do not want to miss this live stream right now here, guys, okay? If you already got the app, that is awesome. Make sure that it is updated, because January 15th, the old version of the app is going to be expired. So make sure that you have our app downloaded. That way you don't have to miss anything. And if you haven't already, make sure that it's updated as well here. So let's talk about this before I get into the sleep, because a lot of people are kind of throwing this under the rug, and you got to realize something. This is not going to be a Sunday night, Monday morning event, and then everything's just going to, melt off, and then we're going to go back to normal. This is going to be around Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, potentially Wednesday night, and then Thursday and Friday, there could be yet another system we'll have to deal with. So make sure, we're stressing this right now, make sure that you are prepared to be in that house for a couple of days. This is not going to be a 12 to 24-hour turnaround. We could potentially be talking about upwards to 96 over 100 hours being below freezing here. So make sure that you are prepared to be in the house for that extended period of time, instead of it being 12 to 24 hours at this point. So be prepared for the potential of below zero wind chills. Power outages shouldn't be crippling. We'll keep an eye on that, especially in South Arkansas, because we can get some wet snow. We're going to talk about that coming up here in a little bit. But if you're traveling, make sure you have that gas tank, blankets, gloves, hats, etc. And if you have pets, make sure you bring them inside as well at this point here. Derek, go ahead.
And one thing I want to stress about this, notice where the cutoff line of the front is on this map.
Yep.
Okay? So tomorrow, the front is going to stall out.
Yep.
And the reason being, obviously, we have a warm Gulf of Mexico, we have our Southeast Ridge, stuff we talk about during severe weather season. A lot of. So this is going to slow down as it gets to the...
I'm going to go ahead and switch over. Go ahead.
As it gets to the Louisiana border.
Yep.
So what that means is that's going to create what we call a warm nose, and what that's going to do is, as it comes up and over this Arctic front, tomorrow, the moisture comes up and over the front. What it's going to do is create what we call a warm nose, and that precipitation is going to fall into very, very, very cold air, temperatures well below freezing. We'll say low to mid 20s in South Arkansas.
Yep.
So our concern has been sleet.
Yep.
It's been a concern. It's been a concern of ours really from the get go, and then medium range guys started coming in and showing it. Then short range guys started coming in and showing it, and then we started looking at the installment. Then it started showing, like, okay, this is more of an issue than we thought it was going to be.
I want to stress this too right now, because I'm seeing comments about this. Folks, if you leave this live stream right now because we're not going over a specific topic, you're going to have to deal with whatever comes your way as we get to our Sunday and the Monday time frame. Folks, you're going to have to learn how to be patient. That's just the number one thing we deal with winter weather and everything like that. This is going to be a small rant, by the way. But you're going to have to learn how to be patient. This is not a bait. This is not we sat here and talked about this over and over and just to have to sit there and do that. There's a lot of information that we have to go over. That's timing, accumulations, that is the cold air. All that information we've got to go over here and make sure that everyone knows it at this time. So make sure that you're being patient. I promise you, just sit there, relax a little bit, watch the live stream. You're going to get all the information that you need to know in this live. And if you miss it, you can also go to Facebook, and it's going to have the graphics on there as well here, okay? So just keep that in mind at this current time here. So this is the winter weather outlook at this point. Heavy snow across northern Arkansas and central Arkansas at this time. I've opted to go winter mitts to a snow potential in southern Arkansas because of the sleet. But that's something that we're going to have to monitor as well.
There's a very small concern as well.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit of freezing rain at onset.
Yep.
We're not as sold on it just yet. I know the National Weather in Shreveport has mentioned the possibility in their winter storm warning, especially from El Dorado to Texarkana, and then up to Foreman and DeQueen area as well, on the leading edge of where your warmer air and colder air overlap. We're going to have to watch out for it. It won't be an ice storm by any means. It should be pretty much a quick transition from freezing rain to sleet to snow. Now, that being said, if in fact we do get a longer period of sleet than what's currently anticipated, then those snow totals around from Pine Bluff to Monticello, the Camden area,
Mm-hmm.
could be cut down.
Yep.
And that's a concern of ours that we're going to have to watch. Now, if we go up into Central Arkansas as well, obviously we know we may see a very brief period of sleet, but it should be pretty much a quick transition
and that's
to
going to be something we'll have to watch it because I will say this: the faster you go over the snow, the higher your snowfall totals are going to be. That's when you're going to start to approach that 7, 8, 9-inch potential across Central Arkansas and East Central Arkansas. So that's going to be very interesting to watch over the next 12 to 24 hours here. You've already gone over the sleet totals down here in Southern Arkansas, so we can go ahead and kind of get this up. And this is what the majority of everyone probably wants right now is the timing map here. So,
round 1.
like I mentioned before, this is round number 1. Okay, we're going to have another round that's going to come up late Sunday night into Monday. We're going to have that information for you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Patience, 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 patience. I want to make that clear. Okay, this is for round number 1. This is the timing that's going to be coming up tomorrow. All preparations for the Arctic cold air and the winter weather needs to come to an end by 2 p.m. tomorrow
Honestly,
evening.
the Arctic air should have been done today.
Yeah, that should have been done today. Yeah, actually,
once
yeah,
you got
definitely.
below freezing tonight, you're done.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely. So basically, at this point, we're just preparing for the winter storm.
Yep.
We're preparing for the winter storm. That's getting the groceries. That's doing you have time tomorrow because the deeper, colder air is not going to settle in place.
Right.
So that's going to give the pipes and stuff a little bit of time at this point. So if you have to get it done first thing tomorrow morning, you'll get away with it.
Right. Our folks in North Arkansas
your time
in the singles tonight.
Yeah. They're already done. But Central and South, you have just a little bit more time. But for the winter storm, all preparations for that needs to come to an end by 2 p.m. tomorrow. So if you need to go to the grocery store, if you need to go get something for the house, be prepared to be in the house for a 96 to 100 hour time frame. Let me make that clear. This is not going to be a snow event where it just melts and then everybody's going to be wanting to get back out and travel. Keep in mind, these Arctic temperatures are going to be here. This is very reminiscent to what happened in 2021, where you had that mega snowstorm, and then you had the cold air behind it, and you guys know full well how long that took to melt off. Like, it took, 4 or 5 days before it was able to, start traveling again, because we were below freezing for that entire period of time.
And then, in terms of melting off completely, it took almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It took a January thaw with temperatures in the 60s just to get it melt off.
Yeah. So that's why I want to stress right now here is make sure that you're prepared to be in that house all the way until at least mid part of next week. And like I mentioned before, we're going to talk to you guys about that Thursday and Friday time frame once we get past Sunday and Monday, because that could be more of an ice situation for our folks versus the snow at this point. But we'll keep an eye on that. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to start answering a little bit of questions here, because I think a lot of people that are tuning in right now are immediately trying to figure out timing. Like, they're trying to figure out when the timing's going to be and everything like that here. So I'm going to leave this up. If you know anyone, they can't even be watching this live stream right now here. If you know anyone that needs the timing information, let them watch this live stream right now here. This is going to be up probably for about 5 to 10 minutes, so that way people that are coming in can see what the timing is going to be at this current time here. So I'm going to go ahead
Again, one thing with the late week system, I want to stress this as well. So what we're watching for just to give you kind of a quick overview of what we're watching right now. Mm-hmm. That one looks severely moisture starved compared to the one coming up tomorrow. And now that being said,
I was going to say
this one looks moisture starved
too.
coming into it as well. Now that one right there, we're going to have your Arctic air is going to be leaving. This first round of Arctic air is going to be leaving. Mm-hmm. The second round of Arctic air is not going to be as deep as this one has been. We're still going to have highs in the 20s on Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. So that being said, you're going to have moisture Thursday night and Friday coming up over Arctic air. The question is going to be, is how much, is it going to be ice, is it going to be sleet or snow? I think that one could be more of an ice and sleet situation with snow in the northern part of the state. But obviously, if you get ice on top of snow that we're going to have coming up,
your roads are going to be...
It's going to be relatively rough. I know RDOT's been already pre-treating roads.
Yep.
We ran into a situation last night where we had a flash freeze from all the runoff.
Yep.
Fortunately, a lot of that melted today, but as it goes below freezing tonight, it's going to melt over. So now you're going to have that coupled with that. And again, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about different apps like the Weather Channel and stuff like that. They are computer generated.
Yeah, definitely computer generated. And no disrespect for those that that work for the Weather Channel and stuff like that here, but the stuff that you see on our end is the human generator. We sit here, we look at computer model data, we crunch the numbers, and then we think, okay, this could do this or this could do that, and we put this all into a graphic. So just keep that in mind. This is something that our entire forecast team sits here. We diagnose the situation and we make those graphics for you guys here. So I see a couple of questions. Do you think power outage is going to be an issue? And I saw a couple of one, especially in South Central Arkansas. This one was actually a really good question about how the snowfall could be a little wetter down there in Central Arkansas because you're a little warmer. Could that play a factor with power outages? I don't think power outages is going to be a significant deal compared to what we had, in 2021 and 2012 and stuff like that. But overall, I can't rule it out. And another thing that I'm worried about too, especially with the Arctic air in place, is rolling blackouts.
My concern, is rolling blackouts.
Rolling blackouts.
Now, the only concern I have is if we have an extended period of freezing rain before we transition to sleep.
That as well.
And now the area I'm talking about is along Highway 82, the Texarkana to Magnolia to El Dorado to cross it to Lake Village.
Yep.
I think anywhere north of that, you're good to go in terms of freezing rain. That area, the southern roads of county, I'm talking about Miller County, Lafayette County, Columbia County, Union County, Ashley County, and Chico County. The southern road county, I am concerned. I know Jackson and Shreveport have both mentioned this in their winter storm warnings about the possibility of up to a 10 to a quarter inch of ice.
Yep.
If we get that, then yes, power outages will become a concern.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more of a concern in Lake Village area and cross it places like that than it would be in Texarkana.
Yeah.
But something we're going to have to watch as we go into the day tomorrow to see where that warm nose is setting up.
Yep. And we've got some questions about is Central Arkansas going to be a wet snow or a dry snow?
Dry snow.
I think at onset, it could be a wet snow. On onset, just depends on what that warm nose does. Because I've seen that with the HRR and the other models, how it has that heavier band kind of setting up. Some of that could be some wet snow mixed in with the dry snow. And then you should completely switch over, which the majority of this is probably going to be dry snow. But I want to see what happens, because if you get that little bit of a warm nose, then your snowfall, as it's going through the atmosphere, it could become a little wet, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Thank you, Rich. Rich is getting the latest HR coming up. It's pretty much what we've got. Snow from north to central Arkansas, some sleet problems down there.
So the HR is finally matching the GFS.
Yeah.
So, one thing about it is, we gave the GFS a lot of crap over the last few years. And so far, it's been the only one that is really helping any type of guidance.
Yeah. So I want to stress this too, guys. This is tomorrow. This is for tomorrow. Folks, you got to be ready by 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Do not delay. Don't lollygag around. Don't wait till 1 o'clock and then start to react. Take tonight. Take first thing tomorrow morning. Get yourself ready to go here. This is for tomorrow. This is on Sunday. That's going to be coming in. I want to make that clear at this current time. Also, great comment that's coming in as well. This is going to be, if you have any elderly neighbors, make sure that they have everything that you need, guys. Lots of being nice, polite, checking on your neighbors. That goes a long way, guys. It really, really does. So make sure that they're good as well at this current time here, okay? So folks,
far,
what you looking for?
I'm looking at the Little Rock Airport.
Yeah.
Right now, just looking ahead to Saturday night, Monday. Right now, everything. So there's been lots of cancellations with this event.
Yeah.
Especially in the Northwest. Right now, nothing here yet. So Little Rock, I know I've seen a lot of questions about LIT. And what's going to happen is that will probably be a tomorrow thing. As snow starts falling is when they'll start doing cancellations there.
Yeah.
So another thing that I want to note with this system as well, it is greatly overperformed in the Pacific Northwest. It's already on shore, so we have sampling coming in now. But it has severely overperformed in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And that's a concern because data's not handling it well at all. Data was calling for maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow up there in the Pacific Northwest, but they're getting almost a foot of snow up there as well as ice.
Yeah, and I'm seeing this with the 0Z as well. We'll have to keep an eye on the trends, because right now what it's indicating there's going to be a lot of dry air problems tomorrow, Sunday night into Monday, and we'll have to see what ends up happening out of this. I think by the time we get towards the first day tomorrow morning, we should have a better handle on this. So
I will say the short-range guidance has not had a good handle on the system at all.
It has not. And there's a lot of factors into it, too. It's because, first of all, this is two separate pieces of energy that's going to be coming in. That's your problem. And then, two, there's a warm nose that the guidance is trying to either sometimes I've seen situations like this where it overdoes it, and it makes it like, you have just nothing but sleet and freezing rain versus all snow. So make sure that you're staying with us at this point.
This is where the human element comes in. Where you look at the depth of cold air, and and that's why we always say when folks ask about this model or that model or this model or that model, we look at the model and go, okay, well, I mean, really, you're in a situation where all five of the models have everything we look at has something different.
It's all over the place.
It's one of the first times I've seen a system like this where it's kind of all different. But again, the setup screams snow. The setup screams.
I think if there's only one model that has a better handle on this, it's the GFS right now. I think the GFS has been a brick wall over the last, I'd say, 24 to 48 hours. So until this changes, I'm not going to dig too much into the model data tonight because it's just all over the place, guys. If you have no sound, make sure you get back in the live stream and then come back in here. So biggest thing I want to stress right now here, because like I said before, there's a lot of people that are asking about timing right now. I want to make this as crystal clear as possible. This is tomorrow. This is not on Monday. This is tomorrow. You've got to be done by 2 p.m. tomorrow. Whatever you do with our advice, that's on you. But 2 p.m. tomorrow is the cutoff for when the precipitation is going to start, and conditions are going to be going downhill by that time frame. So make sure that you're ready for tomorrow. If you've got the information, you're leaving, that's great. But make sure that you are prepared by tomorrow. Go ahead.
Biggest thing about tomorrow. Okay. Church. I know a lot of people are going to be church in the morning, be traveling in the morning. Tomorrow morning is going to be fine. But keep in mind, temperatures are going to be in the teens and the single digits in North Arkansas, teens in central, 20s in south. But everybody's going to be below freezing. Once that moisture starts falling out of the sky, roads are going to go downhill quick. And
something we'll have to keep an eye on.
So that's going to be a concern as we go through the day tomorrow is how fast does moisture fall, because after 3 p.m. when it's going to start, we're going to start seeing that transition slowly north and slowly down to central and slowly down to south. And then when that happens is your roads will go downhill immediately. Tomorrow morning, I do believe our churches should be fine. If you have evening activities at church, I highly recommend postponing or canceling them. Just simply because of this. Schools are out Monday for Martin Luther King Day. We don't have to worry about that. When it comes to Tuesday is when we're going to have to watch, the roads will be post-event. But but keep in mind, it's going to be down in the single digits, negatives in North Arkansas, potentially even south farther out to central, and single digits in teens in South Arkansas.
Derek, what I'm going to do for just a little bit, while I'm answering questions here, I'm going to download the guidance here. I think the FE3 has another really good solution that we can look at here. So I'll get that here in just a second. So Peggy, this is going to be tomorrow. Folks, we've stressed this a million times, okay? This is going to be tomorrow. If you don't pay it, this is the time to pay attention. You've got to learn how to pay attention to the graphics, know what you're looking at, know your cities, know your counties, okay? You've got to pay attention. If you don't pay attention, you're not going to know, and you're going to be confused, and you're going to be lost. This is the time to pay attention, take more than 5 seconds looking at the graphic, and then boom, you'll have the information, guys. So make sure that you are paying attention at this time here, okay? So it's going to be another round. Yeah, it's going to be Sunday night into Monday. Right now, we'll have to keep an eye on it. The timing right now is so uncertain, it's going to be funny at this point. So are we thinking the dry slot for Little Rock? Right now, no. I don't think you're going to see it here in Little Rock. I am concerned for my folks in North Arkansas. I have seen situations like this before where the air is too cold, you have too much dry air, and it sinks down into northern Arkansas, and it puts central and south Arkansas in the hot zone. So right now, we'll have to let's see. Go ahead.
And I've also seen it where you used to have dry air, But where can be 0 or -1 in North Arkansas?
Yeah.
And we've gotten 2 or 3 inches of snow. So it just really depends. Again.
Yeah. That's how it is. Yep.
Again. That being said, our forecast we feel like is really, really good, and it's been a lot of trying to figure this out because winter weather in Arkansas is not exactly an exact science.
Yeah.
Winter weather in the South is very hard to predict because the one thing is you have a thing called climatology.
Yep.
And guidance loves to bounce climatology into the middle of it.
Yep.
And what happened is they try to climatology with the system, and when you have this is an air mass that came from Siberia.
Yeah.
This is a Siberian air mass, not one native to Canada, the North Pole, or whatever. This came from Siberia. It crossed the pole.
Yeah.
So that hadn't really caught on yet.
Yep.
To the depth of the cold air.
Not to interrupt you, by the way. Hi, Rebecca. She's one of our favorite followers.
Yep.
So yeah.
So this is why, if you're a mono watcher, you go, oh, it's not going to do much. It's not going to do this. It's not going to do. This is why the human element comes into play with this.
Yep. So Tyler, possible power loss due to high winds with this storm? No. I want to stress this right now, guys. We're not expecting this to be 40-mile-per-hour plus winds coming in. This is not going to be to that extreme. There could be some isolated power outage. The one thing I'm worried about if there were to be a power outage threat is rolling blackouts because there's going to be a lot of heating demands with the Arctic air coming in. Don't be surprised if Energy talks about this over the next day or so.
They've already started.
Okay, so
they're not going to yet.
Okay,
because they've really improved the infrastructure since 2021.
Yeah.
Your tax dollars at work. But again. There's always that what if.
Yep.
And, other concern is wind. We're not going to have near the wind we've had with the last 2 Arctic fronts that have come through, or the 2 cold fronts that have come through. We haven't seen a lot of that.
Yep.
I think most of we may see 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. We may see some blowing snow issues, but not near the amount that we've seen over the past two systems where we have 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. We're not going to see that with this event.
Definitely, guys. So, like I mentioned before, please pay attention to the timing of what's going on. I've switched back over to the accumulations because I feel like there's a lot of people that are asking. Please keep in mind that this information is going to be on the page as soon as this live stream is over. So, we're not a one-and-done live stream where you don't get the information if you miss out. Make sure you follow the page. A lot of people that are listening to this live stream right now probably don't even have a clue of who we are and what we do. We are Arkansas Weather Watchers. This is what we do at this current time here. I want to make that perfectly clear. Make sure you go follow the page. You'll get all the information that you're seeing on the live stream at this current time here. So the Deanne, what will cause them to do it is, like I mentioned before, is the high heating demand because of how cold the temperatures are going to be. So like Derek mentioned before, they've improved over the last 3 years since that 2021 historic system. But like Derek mentioned before, accidents happen. You get someone to hit a power pole or, something happens. You get heavy snow or something like that. There's accidents that does happen. So this is not going to be a massive power outage issue with everybody in the state out of power. This is going to be a very isolated. Some places may see it for a little bit of time, and then it's going to be right back. So this is not going to be a big-time power outage situation. It's not going to be to that extent, guys. This will cause travel issues. I think a lot of people are not taking the travel issue serious enough. Folks, you got to realize something. You're going to be in the house all the way till mid next week. This is not going to be, you're going to be able to get back out on the roads on Monday. I've stressed this so much, and a lot of people are not taking it seriously. You got to prepare for that. You got to prepare for the fact that you're going to be in the house for that long period of time. Make sure when you're at the grocery store, don't prep for 12 to 24 hours. Prep for like you're going to be in the house until mid next week, because that's what's going to end up happening. Because the snow's going to melt and then it's going to refreeze, and then it's going to melt and it's going to refreeze. We're going to have black ice issues probably for about 3 days until we try to get back above freezing.
And
at this point.
again, the more snow we see, the less of a chance it is that we go above freezing. Because guidance does tend to get rid of these Arctic air masses pretty quick. I do think that by late Wednesday or Thursday, we will sneak above freezing, 36, 37 degrees. I don't think it's going to be anything major because we have a front coming right back in on Thursday night with lows right back down in the teens. And then we're going to turn around and have any moisture that comes in with the next system is going to cause issues, no matter how little bit it is. So again, we mentioned this time and time again. This is not going to go away. This is not one of those in, out, gone, boom, done, okay, back to your life type of situation. This is an Arctic air mass. If you lived in Arkansas in 21, you know the roads took time. Our folks in northwest Arkansas have been saying the roads are still bad up there because you've had literally 3 straight systems have come through and dropped snow up there. We actually have a little bit of snow moving through right now in North Arkansas. From a disturbance that's with the Arctic air coming in. So that being said, this is what we mean by overproducing. Because this little clipper coming through northeast Arkansas, we're getting reports about it currently. It's coming out of Missouri and down into the northeast corner of the state. So it's going to be interesting to see. Just a little bit of flurries.
Just a little bit of flurries. I see it up there right now.
I have seen people have said it's starting to cause road issues up there. And that just goes to show that's a little bit of snow. This ain't the main system. It's a little clipper coming through that's just kind of passing on through. That being said, what is that going to do with the main system that's still in Oregon, folks? Our system for tomorrow is in Oregon, Idaho, California. It's over there on the west coast still. That's our main one that's going to come down. It's going to be in Texas this time tomorrow. And that's going to be bringing that moisture up and over. This is why we're saying is the timing on the second round is going to be late tomorrow night and throughout the day Monday. It's going to be snowing most of the day Monday. So that's what we want to stress, especially central and south Arkansas. North Arkansas, the guidance has gone back and forth with the disturbance coming through there as well. But we'll wait and see.
Okay, so now I have got this question a lot.
I saw that question.
Folks, what we mean by bust potential, and we have this on the graphic because a lot of people will try to call out the forecast. So we have that bust potential in there because of the fact that the forecast is never going to be 100%. There's always going to be some unforeseen stuff that comes up that makes it either overperform or you don't get much at all. So that's why we have that bust potential in there, because of the fact that we want to raise awareness that this system's not 100% guaranteed it's going to happen.
It's the South.
It's the South. Keep in mind that there's going to be some uncertainty. Something could happen that could make this forecast go in either direction. That's
kind of like Arkansas basketball.
So we're not going to talk about that. But that's what you got at this point. Yeah, Rich, thank you so much for getting that at this current time here. Okay, so for those that have questions right now, this is probably the best time to do it. I'm going to switch back and forth between the snowfall totals and the timing. Folks, I'm stressing this right now. You're not going to miss it if this live stream goes in. Make sure that you follow the page and you'll be able to get that information. Another thing, make sure you download our app as well. Make sure, one of my guys, if you can pin that comment that had the ArkansasWeatherWatchers.com/app, if y'all can pin that in the comments, that'd be great.
There was a good comment.
Which one is it?
It would have been from Dooley on there.
Right here. Yeah, there we go.
There.
So please remind people who drip their water that they need to run both hot and cold water and keep it going as long as temperatures are below 32 degrees. That's great advice, guys. That's something not to mention before. Everyone's so focused on the snow. I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to the cold air, the amount of cold air that's coming south. This is nothing that we've seen so far this season.
Yep.
This is deep Arctic cold air, similar to what we saw in 21. That's that cold air that's moving south. Also, a lot of people are asking about the road conditions. Go to iDriveArkansas.com. One of my guys can get that in the comments as well. Go to that website. It's going to have the road conditions as things start to deteriorate as we get towards tomorrow evening and into that Monday time frame. So make sure that's the time. Virginia, look right now. This is the timing map. This is the time at this point. Remember, all you got to do is follow the page and you will get this exact information once you go down at our page and you see it. If you have our app downloaded, you're going to get the exact same information that you're seeing on the live stream. So I want that to make that clear at this point here, okay? Andy counts. He's a really good, solid potential forecaster. He's great.
So, I went over this when we talked about. Let's go back to the amounts really fast because this is something I do.
Okay.
So this is what this comment is talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So what is causing the extra lift here is your low pressure that is going along the base of the front. The front is going to stall out somewhere between Shreveport and Alexandria, Louisiana tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And what that's going to do is your low pressure is going to go along that and then travel northeast through Alabama.
Yep.
We've seen this several events. This is the best case scenario to get heavy snow in central and southern Arkansas. And what happens is as the low pivots, your moisture is being thrown into the cold air.
Yeah.
So basically, you have lift against the high pressure to the north and the low pressure to the south, which helps to increase both your ratios and your moisture content as well. It's what we call a trowel feature, TROWAL. And this is what we call basically a trowel feature. And we see this with every snowstorm anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, where you get heavier banding of snow.
Yeah.
I mean, just for example, with the previous system, there was a widespread forecast for 6 to 10 inches of snow. Well, parts of Illinois only got 1 to 2, while others got 12 plus.
Yep.
That's just an example of how snowfall works.
Yep.
This is why there's a widespread area of 3 to 5 inches, but a small area of 4 to 6 plus.
Yeah.
For that exact reason.
Definitely. So we've got people asking about the timing. We keep hearing that it's going to be through today, tomorrow. Are you supporting that idea or what? Right now, I've stressed this at the beginning of the live stream in the last couple of days. That time frame right now of round 2 is something that we're still monitoring, and we'll get a timing map out as fast as possible. But right now, I'm not confident at this point to get a timing map out until we know for a fact on is there drier issues, who's going to see what at this point. I think right now Monday's system will favor probably areas along 40 and just to the south. North Arkansas, we're going to watch it close, but I think Central and South Arkansas is probably going to be the best area to see it at this current time here. So you've got one from Sam if you want to take care of that one real quick. Yeah.
So what can happen with higher ratios in Central Arkansas? So basically, it's going to be basically strictly based on your moisture amounts.
Yeah.
And right now, I think what are we looking at?
18-1. Let's go 18-1, just base.
Well, no, I mean, but we're talking about like with the QPF right now. I know
it's been bouncing. Let's go 0.4.
I think it's been bouncing around 0.4 right now.
Yeah, about 0.4. That's been an average. There's been some super high, super low.
So again, it's very simple to do. So basically, you have an 18-1 ratio. And then all you gotta do is look at model and take that QPF, which is just under half an inch.
Yeah.
So 0.40, that's about 7 inches of snow.
There you go.
So
there's the
basically
ratio.
What it is, ratios go on a 10-to-1 ratio. 10 inches of snow for every 1 inch of liquid.
Man, he's talking algebra over here, guys.
That is always the base.
Yeah.
The drier, so basically the colder the air, the drier the snow, the higher the ratio.
Yep.
The quote-unquote warmer the air, the wetter the snow, the less amount you're going to see.
Definitely. Stacy, I love that comment. It won't hurt to offer warm drinks and snacks to linemen, restoring power if you see them. Like I said before, we're all about spreading positivity, guys. There's no room for being mean or nasty or vengeful or anything like that, guys. Those linemen, RDOT, we got one of the guys, Jesse, who's going to work for RDOT. It's going to be busy over the next couple of days. You see those guys out there, be as nice as possible to them because they are away from their families. They're out there making sure the roads are as treated as possible. Energy is going to be trying to restore power if there's any power problems. Let's be nice to them, guys. They're committing a lot to make sure that our living conditions are just as perfect, as they would normally be on a normal day. So, let me see here. Yeah, so it shows 2 a.m. Monday. Did he say all day snow on Monday? It's going to be Central and South if it does happen. I want to make that clear at this point. Derek, I've got somebody already taking care of that.
Okay.
That's going to be Jesse, not Jesse, Chandler. Chandler's going to take care of that. He's got that in the comments. Yep. So we'll watch that Monday time frame closely. Folks, I promise you, if you're patient with this, just long enough, we're going to get that timing map out for Monday. Right now, Sunday into Monday morning looks to be the timing, But Monday at this time is a big question mark because I need to see where that dryer is, who's getting cut off, and then we will go from there at this point here. Okay, so let's see. Stacy, keep kitty litter, salt in the trunk of your vehicle for added weight, and if you get stuck, it could help you get traction to get you out. Very awesome recommendations from Stacy.
And I want to reiterate this.
Yeah.
The winter storm warning goes till 6 p.m. Monday for everybody across the state.
Yeah.
And that's based on both rounds coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's also based on the expectation of travel conditions as well.
Yep.
So there's going to be 2 rounds. The only question is going to be is how much snow falls with the second round.
Yep. Travis, that's going to be probably a no because I like I mentioned before, I'm almost scared that a lot of people are preparing to be in the house for about 12 hours, and then on Tuesday you're going to get an influx of people trying to get out and trying to get on the roads and stuff like that, and causing havoc for RDOT. Folks, we are stressing right now to the bone unless you absolutely have to get out. That's essential workers, that's healthcare workers, stuff like that. It is, if it's a 100% necessary for you to get out, do not plan to travel on Tuesday. Do not plan on traveling on Tuesday. I want to make that clear. You're going to have road problems on Tuesday. That's why we have that timing, not the timing, the travel impacts on the graphics. You're going to have those problems. You do not need to plan on traveling on Tuesday. I'm very worried that a lot of people are going to get to Tuesday morning and they're going to try to get on the roads as fast as they're possible, get on the interstates, get on the back roads, and it's going to be chaos. It is going to be an absolute mess if a lot of people are trying to get out Tuesday morning. So, folks, be ready to be in the house to at least mid next week. Once we get this started on Sunday, the train don't stop until Wednesday. That's the bare minimum time frame right now for people to try to get back out on the roads and stuff like that.
I mean, Tuesday's going to be sunny. The
problem is RDOT is going to have to treat the roads. It's going to have to take time for them, especially with temperatures well below freezing.
Yep.
It's going to take time for them to get the roads back to normal.
Yep.
So we've got to give them space. We have to give them space, guys. That's the biggest thing that I want to stress at this point. And Allison, I'm worried about that too. I'm worried a lot of people are going to try to get out and drive on Tuesday first thing in the morning, and it's not going to end well. It's not. Charles, I like having my black hair. I don't want to resonate, but I appreciate the vote, man. I'm looking forward to them doing Snow Angels, Jesse. Yeah, we'll take care of it for you, okay? So let me see here. RDOT as well as city workers that may be out working on pipes that bust. Yeah. Folks that they have to do it. This is an essential worker. Those are the only ones that should be planning to travel on Tuesday. And if you have to get out, make sure that you're being very careful. Okay. I know a lot of people's jobs are so super demanding that you have to go in because it's essential. If you're planning on getting out on Tuesday, just be extremely careful. But everybody else, no. And matter of fact, Dylan, do me a favor. Tell your boss if he has a problem, come to us because we're going to show him the accumulation maps, everything that's going to cause problems here. I don't think a lot of people are taking the amount of cold air seriously. This is not going to be how it was that Friday where we had, temperatures in the mid-30s and the snow was gone within a few hours. We're talking temperatures in the teens, single digits in North Arkansas, and barely 20 degrees in South. It's going to cause a lot of road problems. Regardless of your amount, it's going to cause road problems. And it's not going to be a easy fix to get out of it. It's going to take time for the roadways to get back to normal. I was going to go ahead. Which question did you say?
I saw a question about the snow totals being for one or both rounds.
So it's going to be for one round right now.
No,
the snow totals is going to be for both. Yeah. But that Monday system is being watched right now here. Yep. So it's kind of a combination of both right now. At this point, I should have made that a little clearer on the Snowfall map. But, so we'll have to watch that very closely here, okay? So just keep that in mind across the area, guys. A lot of people are they're going to be chomping at the bit to get out on Tuesday. I'm very worried we're going to have some problems here. So Monday morning from Hot Springs to Little Rock, 9:30 a.m. at UAMS.
Snow's likely going to be ongoing.
Yeah, I think if I'm going to assume you are an essential worker. If you are, then if you have to get out, please be careful. Take your time. Be easy on the roadways. I would recommend, because I think RDOT's going to be running through the interstates like nobody's business. If you find yourself behind an RDOT truck, it's going to be your best friend because they're going to clear the lanes as they're going. So if you stay behind them, you take your time, you get on the interstate, I think you're going to be okay if you're an essential worker. This is not going to go for everybody else. This is going to go for folks that have to be at their jobs. Like it's, the healthcare workers. I think there's some grocery people that are going to try to go out as well. RDOT, the linemen, all the people that are essential are the only ones that I would recommend if you have to travel to stay cautious and stay slow on the roadways, guys. So, what have you got to say? So, do you think Sunday night's flights into Little Rock will be affected? Yes.
Yep.
Sunday night here because of the cold temperatures and the snowfall potential at this point.
That one right there, frostbite potential.
There we go, frostbite potential. We hadn't talked about this either. I'm gonna let you take over that one.
All right. So a lot of people are focused on snow. Snow. We get this all the time in the South. We hear about snow, sledding, outside, all that stuff. Folks, we're also talking about temperatures that are going to be something we don't get very often around here.
Oh, okay. So she was a patient.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
Still take the same advice.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
So again, with snow, where everybody wants to be outside, the wind chills are going to be below zero. To the single digits for pretty much all the time frame during this Arctic outbreak. Okay, and that means you're going to have minutes. So you want to have all of your extremities covered if you're going to be outside. Don't be outside more than 15 or 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is frostbite potential will be great, especially when you talk about any type of moisture from the snowfall, in your hands, coupled with the wind hitting your face, extremities, stuff like that. There's a reason why there's wind chill advisory and wind chill warning in effect for different parts of the state as well.
Definitely.
So, even though we get rid of the winter storm warning at 6 p.m. Monday, those wind chill warnings and wind chill advisory extend all the way out through Wednesday because we're not going to be anywhere near 30, I'm about 30 degrees anywhere in the state.
Yep.
Until mid-afternoon Wednesday.
I'm going to address Emma's comment as well. Folks, this is tomorrow. This is not on Monday. This is tomorrow. Nothing's changed. This time frame starts tomorrow. I should have made that timing map clearer. I thought everyone would be able to understand it, but I should have made it even clearer. This is tomorrow. This is the first round. This is the first round. This is going to be tomorrow.
One round coming through tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then your low pressure currently over Oregon is going to be coming through Texas and up through Louisiana.
Yeah.
And that round will hit. Pretty much your first trough is going to move out, second one's going to come in right behind it.
Yep.
There could be a 2 or 3 hour gap, and the only reason why there's not a time map for Monday yet is because of the timing differences involved with the dry air in North Arkansas. Central and South. If you live from Fort Smith to West Memphis South, you're safe with snow.
I promise I'm going to make that timing map even more clear than this. That was my bad. I thought everyone would be able to understand that. Go ahead.
So, there again, snow starts tomorrow. You're going to around tomorrow. It's going to be relatively light, except for North Arkansas.
Yep.
Then you're going to have the main event come in late tomorrow night throughout the day Monday.
Yep.
And so, the reason why there's no time out for that yet is because the question is going to be is, will North Arkansas be cut out?
Yep.
The northern 3 roads of counties, at least from Fayetteville over to Jasper to Mountain View, north of Jonesboro, Walnut Ridge, Piggott area, Mountain Home, Harrison, places like that, I don't think you'll have more than an inch for the second round.
Yep.
You go south of that line, then we're going to talk about, again, the snow total map is for both systems combined. For the entire winter storm, which goes from noon tomorrow to 6 p.m. Monday night. It is a 36-hour winter storm warning.
Yep.
That could be extended if things slow down. I've seen this happen before, where your system slows down a little bit, dumps more snow, and they have to extend that warning. Again, 2 different waves, one tomorrow into tomorrow night late, then one late tomorrow night throughout the day Monday.
Yep. So just going back, I'm going to go back over to the snowfall maps real quick. And this is what we've got at this point. Okay, so this is what we have through central and east central Arkansas. I want to keep this up at this time here. Amy, I'm not going to opt and put model data out because of the fact that it's so uncertain right now. HR is doing one thing, NAM is doing the other. GFS is being consistent. It's been the only one that's been consistent. Euro's wanting to do another thing. So I'd be sitting here for about 5 hours going over model data and giving you guys too many different details, and all it's going to do is confuse everybody.
And the National Weather Service would not put out a winter storm warning unless they're confident in this happening. We would not be forecasting this unless we're not confident that it's going to happen, because we don't hype anything around here. So again, we're confident it's going to happen. The National Weather Service was confident to put a winter storm warning out for the whole state. That's why we're not going over models at this point, because models are useless at this point. We're almost to the nowcast situation of winter weather tracking.
Sherry, I'm going to cherish your comment as well. Folks, I'm just going to make this clear. If you leave the live stream because we're not going over your question or topic, that's just how it's going to be. You can lead a horse to water. You can't force them to drink it. So if we give the advice, we break down the forecast, it's up to everybody else if they want to take it and run with it. So it's not going to bother us or anything. But I hope for those that are leaving that they have the information and they know what's going on. That's the only one thing that I would recommend is if you leave the live stream, make sure that you know what's coming up tomorrow and the Monday. Now I want to make that clear because I think a lot of people are leaving without hearing the information because they're not able to sit around long enough for it to kind of pay attention to it. So make sure if you leave that you have that information ready to go, you're good. And we'll wish you a good night if you do leave at this point, guys. So, let me see here. I think there's a couple of graphics.
Somebody else had a good point about this as well. In 21, we had waves of snow that kept developing.
We hadn't gone over this yet. Go ahead.
Oh,
yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead.
So, in 21, we had waves of snow that kept developing.
Yeah.
And, that's something similar to this system, because the reason why is that we're concerned that actually could happen again, where you have wave after wave after wave form throughout a 36-hour period.
Yeah.
That's why that data doesn't know what's going on, because you've got 2 to 3 different systems that it's trying to track, and right now it's not going to have a good handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we don't want to show you model data, but that's why we're confident it's going to happen, because all 3 are coming the same direction with the flow.
Yep, definitely. So just take a look at the comments real quickly, guys. Those that are wondering, you can also enlarge the map. And another thing I want to stress too, folks, I've stressed this so many times. All you got to do is go to the page. If you missed this live stream, that's just how it's going to be. Make sure also that if you update the version of the app, you can see the winter weather information on the app as well. So if you have the app already, make sure you go and update it. It's going to give you everything that you need to know at this point here, okay? So I want to make this clear too. If you, like I said, go on the page, follow us, you're going to have a whole news feed of all the graphics and everything like that here. A lot of people think we go live. If we don't go over it, they're not going to see it again, and that's not the case. All you got to do is follow us on the page, go download our app. You're going to have that information 24/7. You're going to see it all the time, and you're going to be good to go here. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that, because I think a lot of people are leaving. They're thinking, there's not, I'm not going to be able to get this information, stuff like that. They're not going over it. All you got to do is go on the page. You're going to get the exact same information that we see here. So, Mandy, no. It takes a considerable amount of issues for us to go extreme.
The extreme...
the extreme is another level.
Yeah,
that is another level.
The extreme involves sleet and freezing rain, too.
Yeah.
In this. So basically, what we've done is we've taken a graphic that the National Weather Service, or not the National Weather, WPC puts out, the Weather Prediction puts out, and we've made it into more simpler terms to understand, because a lot of the finer things they say, could be misinterpreted.
Yeah.
So basically, when we get to this point of this, that's why we have this type of thing.
Yeah. Give me just 1 second here. I'm going through the questions and stuff right now here. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got that one under control already. So let me see here.
And again, if you're, basically, if you're anywhere in the state, don't travel. That's we've been saying.
I'm worried about that so much. I am so worried about people getting out on Tuesday. We're begging you guys.
Yep.
Don't get out on Tuesday. Please.
I remember,
if you're an essential worker, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But please do not get out.
I remember growing up in the 90s, and stuff like that. The last thing we didn't have a lot of snow in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because we went through almost a 8 or 9 year drought.
Yeah.
But whenever there was snow, it was you stay home and enjoyed it. And now our society has become go all the time.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to slow down and stop. And this would be a great time to slow down, stop, take it all in.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get it, and I measure my job as well. I get it. But that being said, if you don't have to travel, don't.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many variables that are going to be taking effect. Especially the amount of cold air that's going to be in place. This is why there's such a high impact to travel because of those below freezing temperatures for an extended period of time.
Definitely. So, Kier, she's got a question. What is the ideal conditions for snowfall amounts to be higher? Now, if you want snowfall amounts to be higher, you want the colder air. That's the number one thing. And then you want additional lift, and then you want the moisture content as well. That's what's going to help get those snowfall totals a little bit higher. Another thing is there's going to be a band that's going to set up. I would dare say probably along I-40. That is where you're going to have to watch and see where you end up on that band. That's where the heavier totals are going to be at this current time here. Okay, so John Gorman, he's asking why would we see sleet when the temperature is just right for snow? That is due to that warm nose aloft.
Southwest flow aloft.
Yeah, I got a graphic right here. Give me just 1 second. There you go. Yeah. So this graphic right here explains why some areas in South Arkansas has sleet while other areas has snow. If you're in that zone, if you're getting snow, there's no warm air. It is just straight below freezing, all columns. You're just getting straight snow.
If you're 1 degree above freezing, above the surface, then you can get sleet. If you're 1 degree up there in the upper levels, you can get sleet. Folks, you can have rain at 10 degrees outside.
That'd be freezing rain. Yeah, right. That'd be freezing rain.
And you can have sleet when it's zero outside. Just because your temperature is 0 degrees or 10 degrees or 12 degrees or 20 degrees does not necessarily mean snow, because it's all about the upper atmosphere, and this is how weather works. Similar to severe weather, we talk about the upper atmosphere, the cap, how far storms can go into the upper atmosphere. Well, here, snow, we're talking about the lower part of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So it all depends. Everything. Winter weather, we talk about the lower, and then severe weather, we talk about the upper.
Yeah. John Bushand, he's a great guy up there in northwestern Arkansas. He does a lot with giving us information and reports and stuff. So he said while the focus has been on the snow, we've had multiple house fires today in northwestern Arkansas due to the cold. Everyone stay safe. Don't take unnecessary risks. Check your smoke detectors before you go to bed and your carbon monoxide alarms, guys. That's what I'm worried about. I think a lot of people are not paying attention to the smaller details with not only travel, but folks, this is not our first winter storm here in Arkansas in 10 years.
It won't be the last.
And it will not be the last. We know better than this. We know how to prepare for a winter storm here in Arkansas. We've been through it. We went through 2021 and 22. Yep. We went through 2012, back in 2009, 2010, the snowiest period. We went through all that. You guys know how to prepare for a winter storm. Yep. So please make sure that you're not taking any unnecessary risk. You're staying safe. You guys know the deal by now with winter weather. And for regarding travel, I've seen a lot of comments that a lot of people are going to go out on Tuesday. If you go out on Tuesday, you're either an essential worker or you have a vehicle that is capable of driving through snow that has black ice with temperatures that are in its single digits in teens. That is the only 2 reasons why you should be out on Tuesday. If that is not the case, then you're going to be inside because you're not going to be able to travel at all.
If I were to take a guess right now, I would give schools 9.5 out of 10 of closing, with 10 being the most likely and 1 being the least likely. Mm-hmm. I know I would see everybody out of school on Monday, for MLK Day. Tuesday, schools go back in session. It's crazy to think we're only 13 days into 2024, and we've had 7 weather events.
Yeah. For those that are wondering who we were talking about, that's him. John Bushand, he, like I said, he does an amazing job of keeping me updated with all new reports up there, guys, and honestly, that's sad to hear. There's been a lot of multiple fires up there today. Really hope everybody's being smart and safe across the board here. So, Stormy, great question. Could anything help eliminate or push the warm nose further to the south? There's been a lot of bouncing around with models right now. I'm very curious if this thing's even sampled. I'm very, very, very curious.
It's on shore in Oregon already.
Yeah, it is. But when did it get on shore?
It's been on the main system.
Yeah. When did it get on shore?
They've been having snow all day in Oregon.
Okay.
In California.
Okay. When did it get on? That the question is when
It should have been. Actually, it may not have just come on until this evening.
Oh, if that's the case, then you might as well just throw model guidance out because you're not going to be able to get any kind of sampling until tonight, and then they got to apply it to the model data, which is going to be first thing tomorrow morning or when the event's getting ready to take place. So you might as well just throw model data out of the window at this point, and you're looking at radar at this time. So if you give me just 1 second here, I could probably pull that up. Give me just one little bit. So it's going to be right out here.
So it's on shore.
Yeah, it's on shore, but it just looks like it just got on shore. And if that's the case, it's going to take some time for them to get the model data on the data from the system and push it towards push it into the models. So let me see something real quickly here, and this is going to be it. Let me see if I can switch this over. Give me just 1 second, Arkansas. I'm going to show you guys where the storm system is right now. If you give me just one.
This is why he's a techie around here. He's a technical guy on all this stuff, you know. And Rich, our producer, does all the other stuff that I don't know, that I don't understand. And
he's our executive director. He does a lot in terms of answering questions, making sure that the day-to-day operations are taken care of. I'd be honest with you guys. I'd probably have no hair if he wasn't on our team right now, to be honest with you.
Yep.
So let me go over to the
that
radar.
app y'all love, and you know, all that. You know, big shout out to Rich over the last 6 to 8 months. Has been a whole lot of work going in this. And while we were off on Christmas break, he was working to update that app and get it ready for y'all, because we saw this coming in January.
Yep.
We didn't tell y'all this over Christmas. We saw this coming, but we wanted to let y'all enjoy Christmas and not worry about it.
Yep.
We wanted to make sure this was coming. So yeah.
It's gonna be right in here. Let me see if I can get this up and running. There's your storm system right.
And it's just now
here.
coming on shore.
Oh, it's just barely on shore right now. And that's going to jet out into the Four Corners region, and then it's going to jet out towards Arkansas. So this is your storm system in question right now.
Yep.
And if this is the case, my weather enthusiasts, you might as well just throw any kind of model out the window at this point, because this is going to get sampled. It's going to take, you're looking at the 0Z coming out right now. It's going to take at least 2 model cycles for it to come through, which is the 12Z tomorrow. And by then, this system's already going to be in Arkansas, and then we're going to be watching radar.
But because your first round, your current snowfall over Colorado and Utah and stuff like that, that's your first wave.
Yeah.
That's coming through. This system is going to ride the bottom of your polar jet,
which is right here.
And it's come down south of I-20 and ride the southern edge of this jet.
Yeah. So this is your polar jet that you see in place right now. There's a lot of cold air up here, but this is your storm system right in here. So, and I think that's another problem with model data right now. I've noticed this over the last couple of events we've had over the last couple of months. If there's 2 pieces of energy, it's going to struggle.
Yeah.
Because it's going to try to see if it phases into each other, when it's going to come, and all that. If there's 2 pieces of energy that are not sampled, that just makes you're pretty much throwing out the models at this point. Like you're throwing out any kind of data, you're throwing all that out, and you're just paying attention to the radar right now.
Yep.
I mean, that's just how it's going to be. So that's why you're not going to get a look like we did last night. A look in the models and stuff like that here. I think if there's one particular model that would take the cake, and I think would probably end up being the winner out of this entire event, I think it's going to be the GFS. And like you mentioned before, you know about a couple of years ago, the GFS was what we call the Goofus model. I mean, it wasn't good for anything, but they upgraded it since then. I think it's
consistent,
and it's been consistent. And consistency goes a mile away whenever you're looking at model data. So we could take a look at that Give me just 1 second here. I got to get back over to our deal, and we can get this up for you guys. So this is going to be it. That's the GFS.
Yep.
And
so
this
is the 18Z. So this is actually taking in. So the 18Z is one of the first ones that actually does take in some model sampling.
Yeah. And notice a trend. I mean, it's just been a kind of a little bit of a shift southeast a little bit, but I mean overall the idea is your
heaviest band is in our circled area on our accumulation map. And again, we're not forecasting off a model. We're not forecasting. We don't do that.
Yeah.
A lot of human element goes involved.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing has been.
Because you can see it. There's 0Z. Yep. There's 6Z this morning.
The band has been
update,
there.
And then the 18Z. So it's been.
Yep. The band has been there.
Yeah. Generally in this area that we have highlighted for that 6 to 8 potential, that's something that we're going to have to monitor very closely at this time.
And you can see it's picking up our northeast Arkansas dry air issues.
Yeah.
And you can see it's also picking up the 2 different waves of energy, one through north or west Arkansas, and then one through central and south.
Yep. So we're going to have to watch that.
And you can see the cutoff in South Arkansas as well. This has been an ongoing thing. Now, this has a lot of sleet. Let's show them the sleet. This has been our concern from the get-go with this. Folks, there's a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of sleet in South Arkansas.
And I'm going to tell you this right now. A lot of folks are going to see that. I'm like, oh, that's not a lot of sleet. Sleet is it's the second worst winter precipitation type that you can get. 3 is snow, because snow, obviously snow is a little easier to drive on, and just depends on the situation. Number 1 is going to go to freezing rain. I mean, freezing rain always causes issues. Sleet is a really good second issue, because what it does, it puts down what's called like a sheet of ice on the roadways. And unless you've got a hammer or you got something to break through that ice, it takes longer to melt. I mean, there was one event.
It was the 21 event.
Because
we started with sleet.
And then you went to snow.
Mm-hmm.
The snow gradually melted, but the sleet was there.
Yep.
Like that, you saw that layer of ice from the sleet, and it took several rainfall events, temperatures in the 60s. It took all of that just to get rid of that back in 21. So that's something that we're going to have to watch very closely here. But Chandler, it's just now coming on shore, man. You might as well, honestly, if the 0Z GFS trends this way, you're going to have your answer, because the other guys is not going to have an idea what to do with it.
This is why the winter storm warning has been extended, or has placed into 6 p.m. Monday.
Yeah.
And if y'all remember last night, we were talking the winter storm watch was only until noon Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is because your system is slowed down. Mm-hmm. A slower system means greater snowfall accumulations, which is why Central South Arkansas has that chance.
Yep. So, in the end, I want to make this clear. We're not being rude to anybody. I just want to make sure if anyone has jumped in, we're trying to get to as many questions as we can here, okay? So we're not being rude or anything, I promise. We're just trying to make sure that people know that there's other resources that they'll be able to look. But instead of getting on a live stream, looking for the answer, and they don't see it, they leave, and that's it. A lot of people don't know we even exist until this live stream come up. So make sure if you leave that you go and follow the page, because you'll have the exact same graphics we're going over right now on the live stream. You don't have to worry about that without missing any information here, okay? So let me see here. Kiera, thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate it. I will never be a president. I don't have the hair to be a president. So, long story short, who's going to get hit first? That's going to be Northwestern Arkansas first thing tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening here. I'm going to go back over to timing. I've had to bounce around between timing and accumulation. One thing I haven't gone over, and this is very important, this is our forecasting timeline. We are now 1 to 2 days out. Well, we're actually getting tonight we'll actually get to the nowcast situation.
Yep.
Well, we'll start watching radar and adjust the forecast as needed. But as of this live stream, we're about 1 day out. So we're nailing down the finer details, the amounts, the exact accumulations, and all that other good stuff. But this is where we stand right now with our forecasting timeline at this point. So I'm going to go back over to the snowfall, and I'll just bounce back over to the timing map real quickly here. So there it is right there. There's snowfall accumulations at this point. Let me see here. Just going over everything right now here. So let me see here. So what about end of next week? Summer I'm going to get to that once we get past Sunday to Monday. Because similar to what happened with this severe threat in the winter weather, a lot of people like to look ahead and not focus on what's going on So
every event that we've had in January has started small.
Yep.
And then it's gotten bigger as we've gotten to it.
Yep.
I'm hoping this is not a trend as we go into spring. Because that's my concern, is this is going to be a trend as we go into spring, then we're going to be talking severe weather.
Yeah.
And again, I know, this state is weather weary. We've had a ton. I mean, you go back to March of last year when we were talking about tornadoes.
Yep.
If you're talking about our region is, because, we started really with the Rolling Fork tornado.
Yep.
Then, just across our state lines.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the Little Rock tornado. Then we had flooding and tornadoes in April.
Yep.
And then we had massive amount of rain all the way through May and June. Then we had a drought and heat throughout the summertime, his favorite time of year. And then we had a drought all the way through December.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden everybody thought, oh, it's a drought, but it's not doing much. Now all of a sudden, guess what? Now here we are in January, and we've started the trend over again.
Not the people coming after my hair. I love y'all. So I'm going to go here because I saw one. This is from Kelsey New. I'm not going to be able to get your comment up because it's been kind of buried here. So I've been seeing some posts about the latest HR showing less than an inch of snow for Arkansas now. I'm going to stress this right now. With it being as of 8:29 p.m. this evening, you heard it first here, Arkansas Weather Watchers. Do not trust the HRR. Just don't. Don't trust any. Don't trust any model data. I've never trusted HRR 100%. I mean, that's just with any model. You can't trust it 100% because I've seen situations where let's take this back 2 weeks ago on Friday. A HRR barely had anything here. All its cycles. Then we got to the real time. We got to the nowcast, and then Central Arkansas ends up with almost an inch and a half of snowfall, while the HR is playing catch up.
Yep.
This is why you don't take model data and run with it. This is why you don't post it on social media to begin with, because what it does, it confuses everybody.
Yep.
You have your forecast that is original content from us, and then you have computer model generated stuff like the HRR, and it's going to tell you a different thing.
Yep.
You are dealing with an unsampled system, two pieces of energy that probably don't even have any kind of data right now on it.
Yep.
I guarantee you're going to wake up tomorrow, you're going to get to tomorrow, throughout the day, HR is going to tell you a different story than we're seeing right now.
Yep.
At this point, like you mentioned earlier, we're watching radar.
Yep.
Radar is going to tell us everything we need to know.
The biggest thing about this is that, we saw this in 21 too. The HR was last to catch on it. HR finally went heavy snow totals during the event.
Yep.
It waited until during the event. And, really and truly, that's why when it comes to winter weather forecasting in the South, there's so many variables, and that's why it's so hard to dictate, because you don't really know exactly where your warm nose stuff is going to get. But like I've said before, like we've been talking about, this is a very high confidence forecast, and it wouldn't be there. Like I said, there wouldn't be winter storm warning if we weren't high confidence.
Yeah. So my questions getting lost in the comments. And Chandler, if you can do me a favor, get me a last name of that'd be awesome. It's from Ashley. She says, could the guys briefly explain how drier snow impacts travel compared to the wet slushy mess we were used to seeing, and what impacts can they expect to see? So I will take the wet snow. I'll let you take the dry snow. So go ahead.
So dry snow, basically, we're talking about regardless of the snow falling right now, but dry snow falls in thicker Arctic air. Basically, because your temperatures below, let's call it below 20, 25. Okay?
Yeah.
So below 25 right now. And your temperatures are going to be well below freezing.
Yeah.
And so with that, the concern is that the dry snow falls on roads already below freezing.
Yeah.
Your ground temperatures have dropped dramatically over the last couple of events. So that being said, your dry snow falls on the ground. Dry snow blows around a lot more too. So if you're traveling and you have 10-mile-an-hour winds, it's gonna blow around a lot more. But dry snow sticks because there's more of it.
Yeah.
And it sticks to the roads and packs down.
Yeah.
And it packs down on the roads. It makes it a little more travelable, but as it starts to fall and melt and refreeze.
Did you just take wet snow?
No, I'm still talking dry snow.
Oh, you're still talking about dry snow.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
But then it gradually packs down.
Yeah. So wet snow is completely different. It is a little. I'm treading this very lightly. It's a little bit easier to travel on until it melts. And if you have temperatures that fall below freezing afterwards, it leads to black ice. But on the flip side of the coin, wet snow could cause a lot of power outages because it sticks on the power lines and it drags it down just like freezing rain. Dry snow doesn't do that. There is somewhat of concern if you get a mix of both dry and wet snow, that you could talk about some issues. But if it's predominantly wet snow, then it could cause a lot of power issues across the board here. So,
and I will say, say this well with dry snow and wet snow as well. One thing we watch for is severe weather on the Gulf Coast.
There's no severe weather.
Because that cuts down on your snowfall ratios and your moisture content.
Yeah.
We don't have any severe weather this time around, folks. This is one of the first winter storms I can ever recall where there's not a severe risk on the Gulf Coast.
Yep.
That's going to help us out tremendously.
So I want to debunk the thunder snow thing that's going around. There's not going to be any thunder snow with this, guys. It's okay. It's okay. It's not going to happen because you just don't have a lot. You don't have the aloft instability to support thunder snow here. Now, I'm going to tell you this. My hair is about to go gray looking at these computer model data on this side because you go NAM. NAM has snow. 4 inches of snow. If you go with the NAM, you go with the HRR, it's less than an inch. I guarantee you, I go over to the next run, the 0-1Z, and it's a completely different story. My hair is about to go gray looking at this. That's why I'm telling you guys, just don't worry about model data and stuff like that. It's all over the place. I mean, it is just absolutely all over the place. Another thing I'm worried about too is this, Derek. I'm going to show you this. You notice all this precipitation that the simulated radar is showing?
Yep.
With Arctic air in place, it's gonna bring that to the surface.
Yep. HR is not infected.
It's not. No.
So basically what we're looking at, it's the moisture plumes, and this is why we look at what's called the SREF, short range ensemble forecast mean.
Yeah.
Because that gives us an idea of what the short range guys are seeing.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna take a look at that.
So basically, what happens is you have a deterministic models, which is the hour-to-hour output or the different run outputs. Then you have the ensemble means, which takes in there's anywhere from 18 to 30 different ensembles that the model throws into an output. So what it does is we take a mean.
Yeah.
And that gives you an average of what to expect. That's where these forecasts come from. And that's why we can look at it and go, okay, this is what we need to look at. Yeah,
it gets confusing, guys. I promise you it gets confusing. It's nuts how we're, and this is just something I'm going to throw out. It's weird that we're in 2024, and you would think with all the technology we have in place right now, that you would think we'd have better technology for the model data, and we don't. That's why it's so difficult for us to kind of pinpoint this. So, what I'm going to do, give me just 1 second. I've got to go over to, let's go to Little Rock. And I'm wanting to see what it's wanting to do in terms of this. Okay, so the average as it speaks right now looks like it's going to be right at 3 inches. That's the average at this point. That's the mean. Now, keep in mind, this is using a 10-to-1 ratio too. This is not using the Couture model or anything like that because it's a
so basically
it's weird.
All right, so basically this is using a 10-to-1 ratio of 3 inches of snow.
Your ratio is gonna be 18-to-1.
Yeah, and actually, National Weather Little Rock has talked about 20, upwards of 20-to-1 or more. Okay. So basically, you can double this and say this is where the 4 to 6 inches plus comes in.
Yeah.
So
let me see here. So it'd be you're talking 18 ratio. That's what. You're talking 3 inches of snow.
So look at your QPF mean.
Oh yeah.
So go to your total QPF mean.
QPF is gonna be right around
Right around 0.35 inches.
Let's go 3.5. That's 6 inches.
6 inches of snow.
That's 6 inches of snow.
We're looking anywhere from a quarter to a half an inch of liquid precip.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're basically, if this were all rain, we'd be talking about a quarter to half an inch of rain. But we're not talking about it, therefore that's why impacts are going to be much greater.
Yeah, definitely. So, do me a favor and take a look and see if we have. I'm pretty sure we got a lot more questions in here right now here. But I want to kind of debunk that because we're not going to get thunder snow out of this, guys. There's no way. Philip, this is why we're stressing right now, guys. This is what I mean about model data here, because a lot of people, like Michael's comment, for example, they're going to see that and they're going to immediately think it's not going to snow. Folks, there's so much to weather forecasting than just looking at models and putting it out there for shares and clicks. There's so much that goes into our forecast, guys.
If you notice, we don't share a single model run on this page.
Yeah.
We have it in years.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we stand by is accurate forecast.
Yep.
And one thing about it is even when we first started this thing, we didn't share model runs.
Yeah.
Because we didn't believe in it.
Yeah.
And that's why we won't do it. Forecasting takes a lot of meteorology. There's a lot more that goes into winter weather forecasting than just, model run up, let's put it out and be done with it.
Yep. And the thing about it is, it's going to change a bunch over the next couple of days.
I love
here.
nowcast situations.
Yeah. This is a fourth nowcast situation I've been in over the last month.
Hey, 2024, nowcast 24.
Yeah, that's what we're going to call it. So let me see here. I'm just going over that real quick. So why are weather stations saying that this is going to starting to say South Arkansas, like Arkadelphia, will be only getting sleet? Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of people that will take a model run and they will run with it. Now, if we get to tomorrow and that's the case, then obviously we're gonna tell you how it's gonna be.
We have it in our map.
We have it in our map. We've gone over it.
Sleet.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, let's do this.
Let's go back to our sleet map because, folks, this is our concern.
Right there.
Right here, okay? Yes, sleet is a concern in southern Arkansas.
Yeah.
If we get an additional amount of sleet. Sleet. Not sleep. Sleet.
I wish I was
additional amount of sleet.
Yeah.
Okay? S-L-E-E-T. Then this will cut down on your snow totals. This is why the snow totals are lower in South Arkansas because of a concern of a long period of sleet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, more cold air depth, you have less sleet. Shallow cold air depth, you have more sleet. So basically, this is the area in South Central Arkansas, in the Southwest Arkansas, where we could be talking about, lessening amounts of snow, but more sleet.
Yeah.
And again, it's something guidance has been honing in on for about the last 36 hours, and it's something that we've raised an eyebrow to because of the depth of the Arctic air coming in.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest question is going to be, what does it do?
What does it do? And this is using 10 to 1, by the way. I'm trying not. This is what I mean, guys. You don't want to go run by run, model by model here. Yeah. And I want to make this clear too, kind of a PSA, because we have that's 900 people on there. Yeah. Let's see how many people we have on YouTube. We have 900, so that's 1,800 people in total. If this event busts, I will understand the frustration. I will understand if you get mad, you get upset. There's a lot of people that have, went to the grocery stores and gotten ready and stuff like that. That happens with winter weather. That happens with any kind of weather here in Arkansas. That's why we have that bust potential. You see that yellow box right there? That's why we have 20%. Because there's always that possibility. Yep. There's always a slim possibility that, this could end up not occurring or something unnatural happens and then boom. That happens.
There's a prime example of that.
Yeah.
It was 2018 in Jonesboro.
Oh, yeah, Ron. Yeah.
Basically, the forecast, we forecasted it too. Nobody caught it. There was a forecast for, I think, 36 inches of snow.
Yep.
And a pocket over Jonesboro, nowhere else in the state, but in the Missouri Blue Hill into Jonesboro, had just enough southeast flow aloft where they got freezing rain. It was in the 20s all day.
Yep.
And they got like an inch and a half of freezing rain.
Yep.
And that is a very rare exception to a forecast, but that goes to show you where bust potential can happen no matter what.
Yep.
Now, for example, another situation is the River Valley.
Yep.
Could there be dry air that works down into the valley of the river valley, where you could get lower totals than anywhere else around you? It's very possible that could happen.
Yep.
You could go, for example, you could be in Foreman and you get 3 inches of, just for example, hypothetically speaking, 2 inches of sleet.
Yep.
Well, you go 30 miles north into DeQueen where you have 5 inches of snow. It happens. Weather does not go by maps. Weather doesn't go by forecast. Weather does what it's going to do.
Yep.
The atmosphere does what it's going to do, and there's no rhyme or reason for it.
I want to kind of jack for a little bit.
Yep.
I'm going to leave Summer's comment up for just a little bit because I want everyone to have that same attitude. I will be the first one, and I'm pretty sure the rest of our team will be the first ones to say, hey, this forecast didn't happen. It's life. It's going to be fine. I promise you, it's going to be fine. It's not like, this is the last snow event you're going to see in your lifetime. It's not that serious. I guarantee you. Now, on the other hand, I understand. A lot of people have went to the stores. They spent their hard work money to go get stuff for groceries and prepare. The cold air is a lock. I want to make that clear.
Yep.
The cold air needs to be addressed because that is going to happen.
Yep.
That is 100%, 1,000% going to happen. You're going to be cold, and it's going to be potentially pipe bursting cold. Now, let's say the snowfall, if you end up with less snowfall totals than what we're saying right now, that doesn't mean you're not going to see snow forever. It's not going to happen anymore, or you're not going to see any more snow for your lifetime. It's not that serious, guys. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. It's not going to be that serious. Like I mentioned before, if this ends up just completely not being to the extent that we're saying right now, I will be the first one to own up to it because that happens. That happens with winter weather. That happens with weather here in Arkansas. Same thing happens with severe weather. If, let's say, if you want it to be technical, Thursday night was a bust because model data was saying that it was going to be a very low-end event. Nothing was supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to get the instability. And you guys saw what happened. 6+ tornado warnings, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, 80-mile-per-hour winds in Sheridan. That stuff happens. You can get busts to happen either in a positive way or in a negative. So this is not us saying, the forecast is a dud because one model said this.
Yep.
This is if you don't see your projected snowfalls, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to be a situation where you're just not going to see it anymore for the rest of your life, and you need to go on a riot.
And it's still going to don't get us wrong. Yeah. It's still going to snow at this event.
Definitely.
But there could be a possibility where your ratios end up lower, and you only get 1 to 2 inches of snow.
Yep.
In North Arkansas, that very well could happen, especially in the Boot Hill area. I mean, especially in Northwest Arkansas, Benton County. That's why you're still in winter storm watch. Because there's uncertainty regarding the amount of dry air.
Yeah.
The number. So you have 2 caveats right now to this event. North Arkansas dry air, South Arkansas warm nose. Okay, that is why the highest confidence.
That's a recipe for Central Arkansas snow.
This is why the highest confidence is that central third of the state.
That
is why your highest confidence is there.
Yeah.
And this is why your lift is greatest there. This is why data has honed in on the central third of the state for the most snowfall. And that being said, North Arkansas, we still expect snow there. Don't get us wrong.
Now this is interesting right here.
Data is starting to hone in on it now.
It's honing in on Central Arkansas.
You're getting that. You're starting to get.
We're getting
sampling.
We're getting that bullseye. I know, like that recipe you just said. It's like baking a cake. You got dry air to the north plus warm air to the south.
Yep.
That's a recipe for Central Arkansas to be right in the bullseye.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen this story too many times. I know what's getting ready to happen here.
Forecasts are a little bit of so basically every forecast we put out, and Cameron can do that. I've done this for years, and he has taken over. And he learned. I feel like he's learned a lot of the winter weather stuff. From me over the past several years.
I have, because I'll be honest with you guys. When I first started this, I was not the best winter weather guy. I was all severe.
And so basically, you have a lot of different variables. You have your lift.
Yep.
You have your temperatures throughout the atmosphere. You have your dry air, you have your moisture, you have your low pressure system, you have your trough. There's so many different variables. Same thing to severe weather. If one variable's off, throws the whole forecast out of whack.
We saw that Thursday night.
And
because your instability was higher Thursday night, and then boom, I mean, guys, we were up for 24 hours covering severe weather.
So
I have I'm going to show this. I'm going to show this. I know this is model data, but I'm going to show this. I think I know the area that we're going to go with. Now, I want to make this clear.
It's showing almost 5 inches in a 10-to-1 ratio?
Yeah, in a 10-to-1.
Okay.
That, you know where that's going to end up. That's going to be probably...
there's our 6 to 8 plus inches.
There's your 6 to 8. South Arkansas is going to be a sleet problem. North Arkansas is going to be a dry air problem.
Yep.
I'm about 100% confident. Probably first thing tomorrow morning, we're probably going to end up going 6 to 8 in that zone that we have.
Yep.
Because there's just too much confidence in it.
Yep.
You have a warm layer in South Arkansas, which is going to bring sleet, freezing rain, and the potential a little bit of snow down there. North Arkansas, you're going to have a snow problem, and I'm very worried that model data right now is not handling this just perfectly. We're gonna get to tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Radar is gonna be just completely ballistic, and then model data is gonna be like, what's going on here? So that's what it is.
I want to address this as well. When we talk about Central Arkansas, okay, we're talking about the central third of the state.
Yeah.
The central third runs from the Arkansas River.
Yeah.
Basically, your central third runs from basically that Mena corridor to Hot Springs to Little Rock over to West Memphis down the hill on the central third of the state, which is where our highest totals are. It's where the highest confidence has been in the highest totals from the get-go of this system.
Yeah.
And when we first started, when Cameron first introduced this map in the first live stream of the potential winter weather in the too early look before the severe weather, this was the original idea.
Yeah.
When we got past the severe weather, we showed it. It was still the original idea.
Yeah.
Folks, it's still the original idea.
Yeah.
And
there's been little to no change with Central Arkansas. I mean, North and South has been kind of changing a bunch, but Central into Eastern Arkansas, where you see on that Snowfall totals map, there's been no change with that at all.
And I want to stress this. The 2 to 4 inches takes into account the higher ratios. The model you saw was a 10-to-1 ratio. Our ratio is going to be 15-to-1 plus.
Yep.
North Arkansas could actually 25 to 30. I saw Tulsa as well talking about this, where we see 25-to-1. Up there, 25 to 1, because
that's gonna be
your area is so dry.
That's gonna be some dry snow.
Yep. So,
Candy Todd, I think our problem is that Arkansas gets excited about snow because they're not used to it. Yeah, I get. Like I said, for folks, I get it. And if you don't get your, there's you. If you don't get your amount, I mean, it's gonna be natural that you get frustrated. That's just how it is. When I first started. When I took over last year, when Derek gave me the chief forecaster title last year, there was a severe event that I overperformed on. I overforecast, and it ended up busting. I mean, that stuff happens. I mean, it's life. You're gonna make some kind of mistake. Weather's gonna do its thing. It's gonna happen. That's how it is. I mean, even in the north, in Minnesota and Iowa, the one place you would think they would have snow. They have bust up there too, because the other night, model day was saying 1 to 3 inches of snow, ended up getting a foot. I mean, that stuff happens. That's just weather's not 100% guaranteed. That does happen. That does happen at this point. So
and another good point,
Brittany, no. I'm going to clarify this, make this clear to everybody. Snow is 100% going to happen. That's not a question at all. 100% snow is going to happen. The uncertainty right now is the overall totals. Who's going to see what? What specific area is going to see what? Who's going to see the 4 to 6 versus who's going to see 2 inches of snow? That's what we're trying to nail down. Snow's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's 100% guaranteed. That's going to happen as we get into tomorrow. We're just trying to figure out who's going to see what in terms of totals. That's all we're trying to see at this time. So, let me see here. So, let me see here. Sorry if you've answered the HR going low. I'm ignoring it because it does this at the last second and it's annoying. That 20% bust potential. Also includes the potential of overperforming. Sarah, that's a really great comment. That's a really great comment. And I've got $20. I've got $20 right now that says that zone. Somebody's going to get 8 to 10 inches of snow. Once you get that heavier band to set up, whoever's in that band, somebody's going to get overperformed. It's going to happen.
This is our concern because the Pacific Northwest, the original forecast was 1 to 3 inches of snow.
Yeah.
They had their prompt winter storm warnings 3 hours before the event started because forecast last minute models went ballistic.
Oh, that
models went ballistic in the Pacific
that.
Northwest.
I hate that.
And all of a sudden, they're getting 3. Now they're expecting 7 to 10 inches of snow up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now you translate that down here.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to watch for that here as well.
So Mark, he's a weather enthusiast. Just to confirm, what models, short-range models, are showing they're not taking effect at the higher snowfall ratios. You have to be careful. You got to be careful with certain model data, like you saw earlier with the FV3, or you can. I'm pretty sure you can look at the what's called the Couture model on the HR and the NAM. I would recommend from one forecaster to a potential another is make sure that you're not going 100% on model data. Always leave that 20% for it could either go, like Sarah said, it could either overperform to a great amount or it can underperform. When you're dealing with Arctic cold air, you told me this morning, Arctic cold air takes advantage of any little bitty moisture that it could squeeze out. That's the fun thing about Arctic cold air instead of it being Canadian cold air coming south. This is true Arctic cold air moving in with temperatures that are going to be negatives, below zero, in the single digits, in the teens. It's going to take out any little bit of moisture it can get its hands on, and model data does a horrible job with that. A horrible job. So some areas like Derek mentioned before in the Pacific Northwest, you could have 1 to 3 inches of snow in the forecast. And then when model data finally catches on that this is an Arctic cold blast and it's going to take advantage of any moisture in place, it's going to go ballistic. It's going to go absolutely ballistic. Yeah, I came from Siberia.
Siberia for the entire month of December was cold. Negative 40, 50, 60, 70. Mm-hmm. And I remember a graphic that came around in December. And everybody debunked it. Said it's not going to happen. Here we are 3 weeks later, and guess what's happening?
The CFS model.
Yep, and again,
now it's not as cold as it was showing, but it did nail. It did nail that cold blast, that Arctic blast coming in. It did nail it.
It's just crazy to me that we're only 13 days into 2024 and we've had so many events in a row.
That's why. That's why when that was going around on social media, did you guys notice that we were quiet?
Yep.
Did you guys notice that we didn't talk about it? We were quiet about it. Because the pattern supported it. Now, not to that extreme of it being, like negative 40, negative 50 degrees, but it did support an Arctic outbreak around this time frame, and it nailed it. It nailed that concept. That's what a lot of people don't understand, is that models like that, no, they're not going to get the temperature right down the middle, but when you're trying to forecast a pattern, it does a really good job of forecasting the pattern. And that's what we got. We were dealing with this Arctic outbreak, and we looked at this, like I said, 2 weeks ago. That map was just going around. Everyone was slamming it. I was like, guys, y'all need to pay attention to the pattern. You need to pay attention deeper instead of the temperatures. Pay attention to what's actually happening with that pattern because it can happen. So that's what we got.
So, and when we devised this forecast, Cameron, let's go to the day by how you look at 7 to 8. 3 to 5, when we started this, we saw this 14 days out. We saw the pattern coming, and we saw the system. We recognized the pattern, and we know, as you know, in Arkansas, to get snowfall, you have to have Arctic air in place first. Mm-hmm. The Arctic air was a given from 14 days out. We saw that coming. Then we got to the 5 to 7 day time frame is when we started saying, hey, this is a possibility, but right now we're just watching the possibility. We got to 3 to 4 days out. Well, guess what? There it was. The system was there, and the idea was there. That's when we started letting y'all know. Now we're here. We're nailing down everything that needs to be taken accounted for. Okay, so I see it. I see what it was. I got to go and find it real quick. But I'm going to go back over to the timing map real quick. And I'm going to take a look at that. So this one had at the late month time frame. Temperature 60 below.
So what happened with this? This is an anomaly. A lot of people were looking at this thinking that was the actual temperature, but not realizing you're 40 degrees below normal. You're 40 degrees, and technically with this upcoming event, with the Arctic blast, you're going to be 40 to 50 to almost in some cases 60 degrees below normal. That is going to happen. There's a lot of cold air coming south. So, I saw that. We were quiet because I told him, I was like, look, before we post about it, let's take a look at the pattern. Let's see if it got the pattern. And we saw that, and we were like, okay, let's see how this progresses. Let's see what ends up happening, and we'll go from there, and then boom. And we saw that, guys. So let me see here. We'll get into a few more questions, and then we're going to end this, guys, and then we're going to be back tomorrow here. So, Gina, yes, we're live, real time right now. I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then we're going to end this, guys. So I have pre-cooked meals to last a week in case lights go out. Oven is electric, but the stove is gas. We will survive. That's the game plan, guys. Even if nothing happens, a lot of people have food. Yep. I mean, you're at worst, you're going to be in the house. You're going to have a ton of food. That saves you a grocery trip. I mean, there you go. Yep. So snow is a given. It is a 100% given at this time. What I'm trying to figure out is it going to be, what's the amounts at this current point? That's what we're trying to figure out at this time here. So go ahead.
And that will come through. You know, we go from the 1 to 2 days out to the nowcast situation tomorrow. Yeah. And that's when we're going to start watching radar real time. You know, that's when you throw data out the window. Yeah. If we see an overperforming system coming out of Texas out the gate, well, guess what? These totals are going to go up no matter what. Yep. I mean, you know, we don't change our forecast based on what's happening. Mm-hmm. You know, when we're going to have a finalized map coming out tomorrow before the event hits, and then that's it.
Okay, so I can confirm with the SREF model, it's 10-1. Yeah. It's a 10-1 model. It's 10-1. Yeah. So.
And you increase those amounts. Yeah. Based on your ratios.
Because you can see, that's 10-1, and some of the more aggressive runs have upwards to 7 inches of snow, and this is a 10-1 ratio. Yeah. So obviously it could either, this is still on the table, guys. If you see, I'm gonna stress this right now too. A lot of people are gonna see at HR tonight. Somebody's gonna post about it. No, I don't know why, but someone's gonna post about it, saying that this was hyped and that's gonna happen, blah blah blah, and then you're gonna wake up in the morning. HR is gonna say a completely different story. So make sure at this point you're watching radar. At this point, you're watching radar, you're watching the trends, and you're going from there. You're not paying attention to every little model run. Yep. You're paying attention to radar, because radar is going to tell you what's going on. And then, model day is going to try to play catch up. That's why I like this time, because it's nowcast. We're getting to watch the radar. We can see it coming in real time without having to wait on model data for model data to either get it right or dead wrong.
As of 9 p.m., here at the Weather Center, we have hit freezing. Yep. So we will not see freezing again till at minimum Wednesday afternoon.
Yep. So I think that's really it. Cross it. We're going to do a quick recap of everything, and then we're going to end this, guys, so we kind of rest up and get ready for the incoming event here, guys. So first and foremost, winter storm warning in effect for the entire state of Arkansas except for Benton County. I think that will change tomorrow. I'm not expecting the winter storm warning to go away just because the HR said no snow. I mean, that's just that is amateur forecasting 101. You don't do that. So winter storm warning is going to remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Monday. 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. A lot of people see that too and think, oh man, that's going to happen. That Arctic air, what it's going to do, that 2 inches of snow is going to be chaos on the roadways, because roadways are going to be just super cold, and those 2 inches of snow is going to take forever to go away. So keep that in mind here. The lowest totals, even if you only see 1 to 2 inches of snow, it's going to feel like you got 6, because it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be on the roads, on the sidewalks, on the it's going to be everywhere coming up. So keep that in mind here, okay? Snowfall totals. Northern Arkansas, 2 to 4 inches of snow, some dry air concerns. But I still think you'll see snow tomorrow. The central area from Little Rock, Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, over to Pine Bluff, Helena, and West Memphis. We got you in the bullseye for 4 to 6 inches of snowfall. Could be some locally higher amounts. I think an upgrade to 6 to 8 inches of snow will probably be likely by the time we get into sometime tomorrow. Southern Arkansas, you're about 1 to 4 inches of snow across the board. There could be some sleet concerns down here that may mix in, but overall, we're going to keep an eye on it. Let's take a look at the Arctic outbreak tips. A lot of people are throwing this under the rug because it's not snow, but this is just as important. Make sure that your pipes are covered. You've got less than 12 hours for those pipes to get covered. North Arkansas, you should have already had it done, because it's going to get, and you're already falling very quickly up there. Below zero wind chills are going to be possible as well over the next couple of days. make sure that you have the warming centers. We have a great list of warming centers from great job from Abby to getting that together. If you need that information, we're going to get it on the page. If you're traveling, make sure that you have a gas can that is full, that you have your blankets, gloves, hats, because regardless of snow, it's going to be life-threatening cold.
Yep.
That's a 1,000% lock.
Example, we have a follower in Montana right now.
Good comment. Let me see if I can pull.
It's negative 30 right now. And it's getting
just a little warm.
42 tonight.
Just a little warm.
So, again, this is true Siberian air coming down to the south.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just a little warm.
I wanted to throw that out there to show people, where it's not going to get that cold in Arkansas. But we're going to see negatives.
If they're in the negative 30s up there, it's going to get downright cold.
We're going to see negatives in at least North Arkansas.
Yep.
We challenged negatives when we had snow on the ground in 21 in Little Rock.
Yep.
I would not be shocked to do that again with clear skies.
Yep.
On Tuesday night.
Definitely. So like I said, it's just a little warm. It ain't terrible. It's good. So like I said before, other than that, make sure you bring your pets in and everything. We're going to be good to go with that. If you have to let them out, make sure it's only for 10 minutes. Don't let them be outside no more than 10 minutes because they have hypothermia, frostbite concerns just as much as us. So make sure you just leave them out for 10 minutes. If possible, you can get one of those, doggy pads and stuff like that they can, take care of their business on that. Maybe a little bit of a cleanup job, but it's better instead of them getting frostbite or hypothermia or something like that here. So if you can let them out for 10 minutes, that's great. If you don't want to do that, there are alternate ways that you can take care of that until temperatures get above freezing here. This is the winter weather outlook. For right now, heavy snow for north and central Arkansas, wintry mix to snow across our areas in south central and southern Arkansas at this current time here. Please keep in mind that this is going to go for round 1 tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. There's going to be a separate round that we're going to keep an eye on, and I will probably have some sort of timing map out tomorrow morning to go over it if it's still there, but we'll keep an eye on that. But that's something that we're going to monitor very, very closely over the next 12 hours here, okay? Here's the sleet. Trace to 1/4 of an inch here in the metro, southern Arkansas. We have an area that's highlighted from the Queen to Hope to Texarkana to Lake Village, all the way to Monticello and Pine Bluff. That area, if you get a lot of sleet, it's going to cause your snowfall totals to go down. But I would dare say, if this holds, I'm probably going to upgrade you guys to a high risk for traffic issues down here, for travel issues, because sleet is way worse to deal with than snow. And with temperatures that are in the 20s, it's going to create a lot of impacts down here. So we're going to monitor this close. Right now, I think that zone from central to eastern Arkansas will be great. But if you start seeing a lot of sleet, that's where you're going to have those problems down there in southern Arkansas, because it's not going to take much for it to cause issues down there here, okay? So winter weather timing, let me stress this. I know it says Sunday to Monday. That was an error. I should have made it clear. That was on us, okay? This is 2 p.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow, not Monday. It's tomorrow. Take the time now. It is 9 o'clock. Most places close at 11. Go to the grocery store if you need to tonight. Get up first thing in the morning. I'm talking 6, 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning, and go to the store if you need it. Okay? You should have already got that done today. But if you haven't done it, tomorrow morning, first thing tomorrow morning, I'm talking 7 to 11, it's going to be the best time for him to go to the store. Outside of that, after 2 p.m., conditions are going to deteriorate quick. We want everyone off the roads by then to avoid accidents and everything like that. So please make sure that everything's taken care of. I would say, Derek, by 12?
Yep.
Tomorrow? That's going to be getting up in the morning, making sure you have it, and then boom. Okay? Central Arkansas, 3 p.m. to midnight on Monday, 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Monday as well. And that's round one. That's round 1. We're going to address round 2 over the next 12 hours here once we get a better idea on that.
Something I've started to notice with the short range, that we're starting to see is it's starting to combine the two.
Yeah.
Now,
which that means we have one time map and that's it.
Right. And so then this would extend out to, say, 5 p.m. Monday, whatever.
Yeah.
Again, the winter storm warning goes from noon tomorrow to 6 p.m. Monday to account for everything.
Yep.
And the concern has been from the get-go of slower timing.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all remember when we originally started talking about this, Monday was the original idea.
Yeah.
And then it kind of moved to Sunday. Now it's transitioned to a little bit of both.
Yeah. So this is the travel the travel impact scale. Basically, the majority of the area is in a moderate, but then you have that high risk zone, basically from West Memphis to Wynn, all the way down to Little Rock to Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, Pine Bluff, and the Stuttgart and Brinkley and the Helena area. That zone is where hazardous conditions are expected. Travel is not advised in that zone. In the moderate area, it's going to be hazardous travel. I'm considering, because of the fact you have so much Arctic air coming in, and any little thing is going to stick, I'm considering kind of expanding out the high-risk zone a little more, because you're going to have those impacts. So, folks in El Dorado, Lake Village, Monticello, Camden, Hope, the Daisy, the DeQueen area, I'm probably going to expand this out a little more, just because you're going to have more of an ice problem down there, and then you'll transition over to snow. So that may make impacts even worse down there than for those that are just getting the straight snow, and that's it. So just kind of keep that in mind over the next 12 hours or so. And then there's our winter weather timeline. We're 1 to 2 days out. Tomorrow, it's nowcast. We're sitting here, we're watching radar, adjusting the forecast, and going from there, guys, okay? So biggest thing I want to stress, too, is the notifications, okay? Make sure if you have our app downloaded that you go and update it. Everybody needs to update that app tonight, because it's going to give you the information you need for the winter weather. But also, go to where you see that little gear. There's 3 buttons. There's a house, there's our symbol, and then there is a person with a little gear sign. That is where you're going to be able to go into the settings and make sure that all weather notifications are turned on. That way you get the information for the winter storm watch, the winter storm warning, and everything like that here, okay?
Make sure you have your app, folks.
Yeah.
This is Rich worked throughout Christmas break to make this available to everybody for situations like this.
Yep.
He worked, I think sometimes he was up for 48 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Working
The man
on
don't
this.
sleep.
And, I love it. Look, folks, it's got that. You can go here. You can get your forecasts.
Your radar.
You can go to get to your, you can go radar with warnings. We have radar with warnings.
Yep.
It's already on there. You can see the winter storm warning is out for everybody except Benton County, because y'all have your own thing. But again, it has everything right there ready for you at your disposal.
Yeah, you might want to turn your brightness down.
So, I mean, everything you need is right there.
Yep.
So, get your app, get it downloaded. It's a great tool to use. I know, especially, and we have a new, we'll have a feature coming out. I can't tell y'all yet. I'm excited about it. I can't tell y'all yet, but I know for a fact, from a chasing perspective over on Heartland Storm Chasing, which is the AWW's chasing division. I'm going to be using this a lot, especially to track where we're at. Cause it's going to be, because you can't necessarily rely on other radar apps. Ours is 100% accurate, because it goes. I track it wherever I travel.
So that's the number one thing that we want to stress right here, guys. And yes, coming like Jeff Baskin, one of our forecasters as well, is coming in fast. The Ozarks is doing their job to slow the cold air coming into Central Arkansas, because it's a shallow cold air mass right now. But we're going to monitor it. I promise you guys, we're going to keep an eye on it over the next 12 hours, okay? So I'm going to leave it off with this. A lot of people are going to ask, is this sleet? Is this snow? Well, freezing rain.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, I'm going to see a lot of people over the next day or so that are going to say it is sleeting outside, but it's 10 degrees out here. It's 15. It's 18. Keep in mind that you have a warm layer aloft that's going to cause the sleet to occur. So make sure you know that, okay? We're going to get this graphic out and everything, so you don't have to mess up. You don't have to worry about work. You don't have to worry about seeing this and everything. It's going to be on the page. So make sure that our app is downloaded on the page, that your app's downloaded on your phone, and that you follow the page. That's the number one thing I want to stress to you guys right now, is make sure you take care of those 2 things, and you're going to be gravy. So outside of that, that is all I got for you guys right now. Like I mentioned before, it's going to be busy. We're going to get some rest. Outside of that, guys, I think that's going to be it in terms of the questions. If we didn't get to your question, I apologize. First off, one thing about that too, one of my guys can get a Discord link in the comments real fast. Go to Discord. If you want your question answered a little bit quicker than it is on Facebook, get to Discord. Go check us out on Discord. We're going to be able to get to you guys a little quicker over there than we can on Facebook. So go check that out. Like I mentioned before, one of my guys can get a link in the description of that. Take care of that at this time here.
Yep.
And like I mentioned before, we're going to have the warming shelter link coming up here in just a little bit and all of that, guys. So
again, thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah.
Our wonderful sponsors, our old ones like Local Roofing and National State Wireless, the BBB. Again, to our newest one, Superior RV. Everybody in between, that makes things go. To our wonderful admins, our wonderful producer Rich, who is responsible for a lot of the things you see. As I mentioned,
he's our executive director.
Yeah.
He takes care of all the day-to-day stuff here. That makes it possible. So that's all I got for you guys this evening. We're not going to take any more of your time. Like I said, check out that Discord link. It's going to be very, very important if you want to get questions answered on a little bit more quicker than it is on Facebook. Yep. So that is all I got for you guys at this evening. We'll continue to keep you guys updated right here on your source for all things Arkansas weather.